Hey guys, have you subscribed yet? I know I ask all the time, but it's important to us. If you don't mind giving us a subscribe, a like, share, leave a comment. We love the interaction. We got some dogs barking in the background. Hopefully you can hear me. We got a whole list of things going on with this unit here today, and I ain't gonna get it all done today, but we're gonna knock out a good bit of it. First thing though we're gonna do is customer's got a new RV lock set up for his door, and I'm gonna show you guys how to swap that out. Something it's not too complicated, it's pretty quick, but I'm gonna bring you along, show you how to do it so you can do it yourself. So let's get started. Okay, dogs are gone now. And I didn't even have to ask. So this is take 2. All right, so let me show you what we got going on here. This is your standard typical old RV camper door lock set here. And customer has a new RV lock that he wants to put on here. So first thing that you do in a swap out like this, we're going to take these 4 screws out and take these 2 screws out. And once we do all that, then you'll see how this comes apart, and then we'll get out the new dealio and put her in, show you how it's done. Let me see if I can find a good place to put you. I may set you on the hood of the truck. I'm gonna have to keep bringing you in on it. It's a whole cameraman thing again. Machine threaded screws here. That's the 4, one of the 4 there, and it basically holds the outside and the inside together. So you can see here. And the only thing holding this on right now is our deadbolt. So that's your inside. You know, you got your trigger here for running your latch. Here's your deadbolt. So anyway, now that these screws are out, the whole lock set will just punch out the front of the door. And we won't use any of that hardware because the new lock set will come with new hardware. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying. And just like that, it comes out. So when you put in your new lock set, you'll put this in first into the hole. I'll show you. Customer got the RV lock, like it says on the box, the original. So let's see. A lot of money in packaging here, almost like an iPhone. Here's what we got going on. So this is the outer, and as you can see, they're very similar. So we'll just stick this through first and then stick it onto the outside of the door. Comes with a compression gasket here, so you shouldn't need to use any kind of silicones or sealants or anything. Here's our 4 holes here for the machine screws to hold the inside to the outside, and then 2 screws right there. Just like on the old one when we took it apart. Got our wire harness here. That's going to plug into the inside of it, and trigger here for our latch, our deadbolt. I'm wanting to say piston. It ain't a piston. It's a. Leave in the comment what that's called, because I'm having a brain fart. Okay, and just like that, it goes in. Now, sometimes you'll see a little bit, where the old lock set was, and there's really not much you can do about that. But anyway, that's in there, and you can see how it sits in there, and our holes are almost lined up. But once we get this inner part on and start compressing it, it's going to draw this over a little bit. so them screw holes are lined up, then we can get them screws in. But the complex part, the hardest part of this, if you will, is getting this plugged into the inner part and getting it together without getting this harness in the way of the screw hole. It looks like they've kind of redesigned it a little bit. Maybe the wire harness ain't as long as it used to be. That's good, because that's the only thing that makes this a pain in the neck, is the wires keep getting in the way of trying to get that put together. So I'm gonna set you down again. Hardware. And here is the inner, and that's where your wire harness plugs into. So when you figure how long that harness is compared to how long this harness is, and once you get it plugged in, this can kind of get in the way of our latch to actuate the door latch, and then getting this, and you can tell it's a D shaft there. Of course, this is where our batteries go. Pull this little tab out to activate our batteries, but we'll get into all that. What else do you need to see? As far as hardware goes, they give you all the hardware, so all the screws are in here. They even give you a new strike plate, a whole new latch kit. They give you everything. Of course, they give you keys, key fob, keys, and here's all the hardware that we would need. And typically my experience has been, as far as the strike plate goes, because the strike plate is identical to what the OEMs use, we shouldn't need to change that. But here's all our hardware in here, so let's open it up and dump it out. Surely you guys don't need to see a video on how to dump out hardware. But this will go on the edge of the door if needed. A lot of times I don't even use it, but we'll go ahead and put it on and see. And from the looks over here, somebody's taken the strike plate off. Looks like they've cut it off, and maybe they were having a really hard time getting that door to close and to latch and all that, so somebody at some point cut that off. So we'll try and put the new one on and see what we got going on. Gave us 4 black screws, and these are not machine type screws like we took out. But anyway, that's what we're going to use to compress our 2 pieces together. All right, so let me see if I can get these lined up. Man, I wish I had a cameraman so you could see the finagling you got to do to get that together, but I'll try and bring you in on it. Maybe. We'll try it. Alright, got our wire harness together, and you can see that's a lot to get in here that's not going to be in the way of our screws and of our handle. Not so much the deadbolt, but it can be done. So I'm having to hold the outside portion in pretty hard with my hand here in order to get the deadbolt thumb dial to be able to actuate our deadbolt right here where my thumb is tapping. And of course I forgot to get that lined up right, so I'm going to have to pull it back off. Get that in there, so that actuates the latch, this actuates the deadbolt. Now I should be able to get a screw in there. Snug it up, but I'm not going to do it real tight until I get all 4 of them in there. Hope you can hear me over the highway noise. can definitely hear me better than with all the barking dogs. Like I said, I just want to snug it up. I don't want to put a lot of mustard on it. It's a plastic casing that those screws go into. We don't want to break that. We don't want to strip out a screw head either, but I think the plastic would break before that would happen. But anyway, that's by and large put together. So you can see here the door latch, it's actuating that, and the deadbolt is actuating like it's supposed to. And then if I flip the outside paddle, it's got everything working. So let me go ahead. Snugging up these 4 screws, it did draw the 2 screws that go in over here a little bit, but they're still off just a tad. But once we start running them screws in there, it should just draw it up. 2 screws for that, and you can see that they're, what do they call that, a countersink screw head, and the hole in there is kind of beveled so it'll sit flat and flush. Okay, so you can see here, got those 4 screws in. Paddle is actuating the latch. Deadbolt thumb lever there is operating it. We've got our reinforcement plate here, and those screws in holding the mechanism. And of course, this paddle out here is actuating the latch. And guys, that's by and large it. Really, I mean, there's much more to do. I'm going to take those 2 screws out in the jamb over there and see if I can't take that what's left of that strike plate out and put in the new one, and then see what we've got. So hopefully it's not going to be too tight that the door don't want to close, but we won't know till we do it and find out. So let's go ahead and do that now. Last thing I do is I pull that tab out, to activate the batteries, and then then we can get with the customer as to how he wants to program the combination. And I typically tell people, I know this is what I do, I just find a number on the camper that in case you forget what the combination is, you can at least know where to go to find the number. But on here, as you can see, there's no 0 and there's no 9, so you've got 1 through 8. So whatever number you put in there is going to have to be something 1 through 8. I've had customers use their RVIA number. Every number there we could use. We could do a 71246 or a 1246. Man, there's only a 35 there. That's got a 9, that's got zeros. Couldn't really use anything there, but I mean, you could if you wanted to do 865, 675. Or you could use a birthday, social security number. I don't know. So let's get the strike plate going here. Boy, hard times. I'm almost thinking about getting one of those GoPro things that you can put your GoPro on your chest or on your head, like those motorcycle guys do. Okay. Well, there goes the old one. This is interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen the strike plate on the inside of the door frame before. But like I said, somebody had cut it in the past. But anyway, took the 2 screws out, and what was left of it was right there, as you saw already. And in an effort of me trying to get it out of there, it fell down the door frame. So it's down here. But you can see how this thing is made. And this is going to be the strong point of the strike plate. So ideally you would want to have that out, set up like this. And you can see the screw holes don't line up. but that's okay. We can make a new hole. But that right there is pretty ideal how you want this to go. So I may just go ahead and screw that in, and then we'll do a test close with the door and see what we got. Hopefully we don't have to leave that off. It ain't the end of the day if it is. It's just that, you know, this aluminum frame right here is not as strong as it is when it's got that strike plate on it. But let's be honest, campers are not hard to break into. It's aluminum and styrofoam. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and hopefully you guys can see. Well, it just occurred to me, I was looking at the holes, and the screw holes that are on there are way bigger than the screws that came with the RV lock. So more than likely are going to have to orientate it where the door latches line up with the hole, but we're going to have to find new aluminum to screw into to hold that strike plate. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it now and see what we got. It closes quite nicely. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close the door, and I'm gonna put just a little, I'm gonna get my Sharpie out and put just a little line on the door frame there, so I know where that latch is hitting at that hole. So I know when I put my new plate on where it has to be to catch that latch. So you can see right here, these two lines that I made, those two little dots, right between those two dots is where that latch and that deadbolt want to be. So in regards to our strike plate, we need to mount this in whatever way we can where it's going to fall in that gap. Obviously it needs to be in the gap, right? We can do a new hole at the top with no issue, but at the bottom it lines up with that hole down there. So I may have to go find a fatter screw, and then we can get a nice fresh screw screwed in there at the top. It's a short screw, obviously it needs to be, but it is kind of like a pan head screw, but flatter. So I'm gonna go dig through my screw box and see what I can find that will have a fatter shaft on it to fit in that hole that Heartland left for us. This is the only complex side of doing a lock set change like this, is just trying to make it compatible with what the OEM did. Alright, so in trying to find a screw, I'm not having any luck finding a screw that fat and that short. But in looking in here, we've got the aluminum frame of the wall, and what I'm going to do, I did find this screw here. It's got a nice flat head on it, and it's not too big of a head, but I'm going to use a self-tapping screw to make me a hole in the aluminum tube here, and then I'll take it back out and we'll use this guy here to hold the bottom of the strike plate in, and then we can use a short screw up there. I think that's going to be our huckleberry. Okay, so you can see that our gap in our strike plate is where those lines are that I made. You can see the reinforcement aspect of the strike plate is on the outer part of the door, you know, so if the door closes, you're not going to pry it open easily. But we did use an original screw there for the top, made the hole with my self-tap, and then down here we were able to use the screw that I showed you already to hold the bottom in. So let's test the door. Wow. Wow. What an amazing fit. I mean, the tolerance couldn't be any closer between this plate we put on here and this plate we put on here. The door closes with ease, and they're actually touching each other. So that is fantastic. All right, so there you go. That's the hardest part about doing this job is the wire harness, keeping it out of the way of our motion pieces here, and then the strike plate bit. So with that all done, we'll go ahead and pull the tab out of there. Boy, they talk to you now. Welcome to RV Lock. All right, and usually from the factory they have it preset for like 1, 2, 3, 4 is the combination. And I know with RV Lock, you just take and hold that lock icon. You hold that in for 3 seconds and it'll lock. All right, so the door should be locked. It is locked very securely. 1, 2, 3, 4, unlock. All right, door's unlocked. So all we got now is to program a combination in for the customer. The instructions are very clear about how to do that. It's something like, if I remember right, it's like do the 1, 2, 3, 4 combination like 2 times in a row or something like that, and then punch your new combination in and hit the lock button. It's something like that. It's some sequence. Not complicated. It's pretty easy to do. And then of course right here we'll want to click this switch on so that our key fob will actuate the door. And I just remembered there's a sequence that you got to go through pairing up the fob with the door too, because you can do multiple doors. I'm right here. That lock set, you can have several key fobs, 6, 7, or 8 different key fobs programmed to that door, so everybody in the family can have one. This one fob can do 2 doors. That's why you got a black set of buttons and a yellow set of buttons. And I'll have to refresh my memory on how to pair that up. I think it's turn that on and then pick lock and hold it. There it goes. And unlock. All right, watch that. All right, lock and unlock. Isn't that snazzy? All right, guys, that's it. I mean, it's not terrible, you know. When they say it's about a 10-minute install, if you know what you're doing, if you've got some experience putting them in, yeah, 10 minutes. But anyway, I hope that helps, guys. And again, please leave us a subscribe, a like, leave us a comment, share the video if you find it helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.